Welcome back to the channel, hockey fans. Today we're diving into the wild side of the NHL with three of the funniest, craziest players to ever lace up the skates. These guys just didn't play hard. They lived loud, laughed harder, and left us with stories we'll never forget.
I'm very into the universe, like how it was created. It is so humongously big, right? And we have some problems here on the earth we worry about compared to nothing. Just be happy.
You know the drill with most pro hockey players in interviews. They're trained to speak in cliches. Gotta get pucks deep, give 110%, play a full 60. It's a safe language carefully designed to avoid making headlines for the wrong reasons. But now and then, a player comes along who completely tears up that script. The guys who say what's actually on their mind. They're the personalities, the entertainers, the players who are as legendary for their quotes as they were for their play. And in the modern NHL, three names are in a league of their own. Ilya Bryzgalov, the space-obsessed goalie with the soul of a philosopher. Jeremy Ronick, the brash, outspoken superstar who never met a mic he didn't like. And Bissonnette, the fourth-line enforcer who became a new media king. From bizarre thoughts on the universe to unfiltered locker room stories, these are some of their wildest and most unforgettable moments. Ilya Bryzgalov, the cosmic goalie. There are hockey players, and there's Ilya Bryzgalov. When HBO's 24/7 series followed the Philadelphia Flyers for the Winter Classic, they probably expected a standard behind-the-scenes look. What they got instead was a front-row seat to one of the most wonderfully bizarre minds in sports. Bryzgalov, or Briz, wasn't just a goalie. He was a cosmonaut trapped in goalie pads. His interviews became must-see TV, not for insights in stopping pucks, but for his deep and often hilarious thoughts on life, the universe, and everything else. The most famous was, of course, his speech on the sheer scale of the cosmos, but that was just scratching the surface. He spoke about his Siberian husky with the pride of a new father, explaining, "My husky, she's a hot girl, man. If she were a girl, she's 100% a hot girl." He shared his profound and very rational fear of bears, painting a vivid picture of a terrifying encounter in the forest. His honesty wasn't just reserved for the animal kingdom. He was brutally honest about himself. After a rough patch, he delivered this all-time line with a perfectly straight face. "Great news, I'm not playing tomorrow night. Good news, we have a chance to win the game." It was this mix of deadpan humor and childlike wonder that made him an icon. When the Phoenix Coyotes were rumored to be considering a move to Winnipeg, Bryzgalov's take was blunt and straightforward. Complaining about the cold and the lack of parks, it only made fans love him more. But maybe the quote that best sums up the Bryzgalov experience, the one that became a meme and a mantra, was his simple advice during a stressful season. "It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?" It was pure, unfiltered perspective from a guy who always seemed to be on a different cosmic plane than the rest of us. Jeremy Ronick, the unfiltered superstar. Long before players carefully crafted their images on social media, there was Jeremy Ronick. JR was a superstar with a rock star's attitude. He was flashy, incredibly talented, and completely, totally unfiltered. For 20 years, he was one of the most exciting American players in the game, and his personality was just as electric off the ice. Ronick never held back. When he was infamously snubbed for the 1998 Olympic team, he didn't hide his frustration, publicly blasting the decision. During the 1996 Western Conference semifinals, Jeremy Ronick was upset after a triple overtime loss to the Avalanche, and especially at an incident during the game where he felt the Blackhawks should have been given a penalty shot. Waugh told reporters that he would have stopped Ronick's shot anyway, and he got an immediate jab back from Ronick. "I like Patrick's quote that he would have stopped me. I want to know where he was in Game 3, probably getting his jock out of the rafters," he said. But Waugh's response was an all-timer. "I can't hear what Jeremy says, because I've got my 2 Stanley Cups plugging my ears." His stories are legendary. He famously told the tale of golfing with Michael Jordan on game day. After 18 holes, JR was up a few $1,000s, but Jordan, after a few beers, demanded another round. Ronick, thinking the Bulls were a lock to lose that night, bet heavily against them. Jordan went on to drop 52 points in a massive win, just to prove a point. He also understood locker room justice. Early in his career, he sucker-punched enforcer Craig Berube while a linesman was holding Berube back. For years, Berube hunted him. Years later, when they were both with the Flyers, Berube walked into the room, said hello, and then dropped Ronick with a single punch, saying, "I told you I'd get you." According to JR, they played golf together that same afternoon. That was the code, and JR lived it. Jeremy Ronick's legendary prank on his teammates is widely considered one of the greatest in NHL history. Ronick tricked teammates Torrey Mitchell and Devin Setaguchi into attempting a fake secret party in Las Vegas. They were taken to a creepy mansion with bizarre guests and unsettling vibes. Ronick pretended to be stabbed by a security guard, causing Mitchell to panic and jump through a window to escape. Ronick later revealed it was all staged, inspired by the show's scare tactics. It was a masterclass in psychological mischief, equal parts terrifying and hilarious. Paul Bissonnette, the modern media king. As social media took over, a new kind of hockey personality was born, and its undisputed king is Paul Bissonnette. Known to the world as BizNasty, he spun a career as a fourth-line enforcer into a full-blown media empire. While Bryzgalov was accidentally hilarious and Roenick was a natural showman, Biz weaponized his humor, using Twitter and podcasts to build one of the most influential brands in hockey. Biz's genius is his brutal honesty and self-deprecating humor. He was a fringe NHL player, and he owned it. He once said his most outstanding on-ice achievement was a press box hat trick, eating 3 hot dogs as a healthy scratch. That willingness to make himself the butt of the joke made him incredibly relatable. He wasn't a superstar talking down to fans. He was one of us, just with a way better seat. His stories on the Spittin Chiclets podcast pull back the curtain on the NHL like never before. He's told hilarious anecdotes about everything from awkward run-ins with teammates, parents, to the unwritten rules of fighting. One of his most famous tales involved getting into a bar fight where he fought off multiple guys, lost his shoes, and did it all to defend a French onion soup. What makes Biz so unique is his blend of old-school hockey grit with new media smarts. One minute he's telling a story about dropping the gloves, and the next, he's on national TV explaining bizarre slang to a mainstream audience. He famously had to break down the concepts of soaking and quacking for hosts on the Pat McAfee show, leaving them in stunned, hysterical silence. He's the everyman who made it, a guy who played a tough role but never took himself too seriously. He once said, "I usually just pour vodka down their throat, and then I go from a 6 to an 8 and good night Jim Kite." It's that raw, unfiltered humor that turned a player with only 7 career goals into the voice of a generation of hockey fans. From the cosmos to the locker room, from on-ice chirps to off-the-rails pranks, these 3 players shattered the mold. They remind us that behind the helmets and the tired cliches, there are real and often hilarious people. They are the quote machines, the storytellers, and the entertainers who left a huge mark on the game's culture. So who do you think is the funniest NHLer of all time? Is it any of these 3 players or someone else? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into the NHL's funniest characters, smash that like button and hit subscribe for more hockey hilarity. From locker room legends to mic'd up madness, we've got it all. Don't miss the next drop. Hey hockey fans, you can also follow my blog at https://tedtalkshockey.com, and remember to keep your stick on the ice. Thanks for watching.